It's not an off-the-shelf nurse tank.
No.
It's that time of the year, guys. Almost winter time. Technically still autumn, I think, but yeah, this weekend at home, Northern Ireland, is pretty much the race for the slurry ban. I'm just catching up with a couple of guys before the ban comes in. It's a little bit crazy, but you know, rules are rules, and we're not here to question them. But we're right back up on the north coast again. We've come up to Wilson Brothers, and we're going to give David a wee ring here. He's putting out a little bit of digestate out on ground here before the closed period. We're literally only about 2 fields length away from the sea. It's the race to beat the ban basically now, and absolutely everybody I know that's working with umbilical systems and drive tanker systems are all flat out at the slurry this week. That is what this week is all about. Going to ring David now, get my phone out and have a wee chat with him and see what these guys do as well. So.
Hello?
Well, David, how are you getting on?
Oh, not so bad. Just waiting slurry here.
I'd say at this time of the year that could happen you quite a bit, waiting in slurry.
Aye.
Well, hey, are you going to beat the ban? That's what's in everybody's lips this week. The ban's coming in now on the 15th. Are you like flat out now the rest of this week to try and beat this ban?
Aye, we'll be pretty busy now for a few days.
What exactly do you guys do? Because I know from growing up around North Antrim coast, and also know from Denise who works with us, our general manager, we know you guys have your fingers in a lot of pies.
Aye, we like to try and do a few things anyway, to keep ourselves busy.
But what's all happening here today?
Well, we're just carting here for Camoyle AD.
Yeah.
Barrel cart, there's 5 tankers carting, there's 2 Hearn, 3,500 and a 2.5, and then Camoyle's own tankers.
I seen that. I spied one of his tankers there just on the way in. He's a 3,500 OBE, which is a relatively newcomer to the market.
It seems a pretty good tanker.
Looks the part, doesn't it?
It does. I haven't looked around it too much, but what I've seen of it seems pretty good.
And then you running the Hearn tankers. Well, I think we all know here in Northern Ireland that the Hearn makes a really good high quality tanker, like.
They're a very good tanker.
Well, is it mostly blue here? Because tractors, is that what I'm sort of seeing here? Is you're in a blue one? Is it mostly blue ones you run? I thought you run a few different ones.
I think 8 or 9 New Hollands and then 4 John Deeres.
Okay, there's no shortage of tractors then.
There's definitely no. Well, some days it could be short enough now.
You're in, what's that, a 200 or 210?
200. That's good.
You're in a 200 today. Is that your tractor for spreading, or is that just your tractor, or do you drive any tractor?
I don't really drive any tractor. I just kind of take what the else wants.
You're a real boss then. You take what's left. Very good. I must say now, and just when I was arriving in there, certainly dribble bars are very much the standard now, and I notice you're running an AgQuip there, and there seems to be a lot of guys in the north area here running the AgQuip trail or dribble bar. But the one thing that stands out for me is your nurse tank. How long have you had that nurse tank now, David?
I think this is our 2nd season with it.
Aye, second season, so she's really was. You really took her last year then as such.
Yeah, last year was kind of the first.
So I remember Facebook went mad whenever this nurse tank was getting pictures and that sent about it. It's not an off-the-shelf nurse tank.
No.
Am I right in saying you got that specially made sort of as how you wanted it?
Well, the house is about 12,000 gallon, and there's a L27 mounted in the front of it. So there's a duty pump. We got a swing and draw bar and stuff put on it as well to make it more accessible in and out of places.
And that was made by a local man, was it not, Dave?
Philip Bartlett made it, just near Armagh.
You must lie towards the blues. I know you said you'd 8 or so of them, but I did notice you painted it blue.
Well, I prefer the New Hollands anyway, so I do.
Go easy, go easy. The tank you say holds 12,000 gallons.
Yeah.
A lot of contractors, and if I chat to them, and we have back over the years, you know, as an example, Mackay's or that, they would run the DCA arms. But I know when chatting to James, he has said to me, he thinks there's a place for both your DCA and your over-the-hedge boom into the likes of a nurse tank. Obviously, you're not running DCA arms, you're running the nurse tank. Is there a place, do you think, for both in farms, or what's your thoughts on that?
It definitely is. The next tankers I would maybe consider putting on DCA arms. Like the nurse tank is a great job coming in the blocks of ground like this here, and there's smallish fields and stuff, and the tanker's always fit to keep moving while you're reeling and stuff like that. But the DCA arms will come into their own, like if you're just doing, you know, wee fields here and there about the country and don't have to reeling all the time, if you know what I mean. You know, to change fields. Yep,
I know what you're saying. I suppose the big argument for it too is you are holding up that extra tractor and extra man, but then if you take the fact that when you're here, say you're getting started up and you have three tankers can come, tip, blow their load into the tank, and then can be away on getting their second load whilst you're still getting reeled out and getting ready to go. And then when you are ready to go, the next tanker's coming back. They're not sitting in a queue to tip. They can once you create a little bit of room inside your tank, they can start dumping. You know, so I suppose there is an argument that in certain jobs that could save you the time.
There's definitely a place for both if we could afford both.
Slurry's not the only thing you guys do. You guys are you have been known now for having your fingers, as I said, in a lot of pies earlier on. What would you say the biggest thing that you guys do? Is it? I know you do spuds, but you don't just do spuds here at home.
Well, we do hire tractors and drivers into different farms over in England and farm too in Scotland as well. But, we do some Christmas trees and stuff like that.
Christmas trees? You go to Scotland, did you say, and do Christmas trees?
I do with Christmas trees up around Inverness.
Like harvesting them?
They're ready, cutting them, and we just have to net them, and they're putting onto this machine designed to, well, there's an elevator up the side of the tractor and there's a netter in the front of the elevator, and it pulls the tree in through the front, nets them and shoots them up to the back and puts them on the pallet for transport. So.
Oh, when do you do this?
We start probably first week of November.
And do you go yourself?
Try not to, but I've ended up having to go anyway. So.
You're going this year, you just don't know that yet. You're also a silage man as well, I know that. And I know you run a class harvester, but I don't know what the class harvester is.
We have a class 870 and a John Deere 7480 as well.
A John Deere 7480 and a class. What one do you drive?
Generally take the class, so.
Is that your favourite?
Well, there's nothing wrong with the John Deere either. She's a good harvester and she's plenty of power, but I'm just used to driving the class, that's all I've ever known, so.
You're a New Holland man and a class man's what you're telling us.
Well, I wasn't really out buying a John Deere harvester, the new type. I think they're pretty good harvesters too. So
Yeah. Oh, well, there's a couple of them floating about. You can buy them all right now. You'd have no issue now. You can even buy a new one if you really want it.
aye, well that's it.
Well, what John Deere tractors do you run?
The two 6150Rs and a 6150M and a 6930.
And have you a favourite one of those four?
I prefer the 6930.
Seriously?
I quite like her.
Oh.
But
Well, I'd say you might get a few guys agree or might get a few guys disagree. And then what's your favourite New Holland tractor that you run?
T7 185 Auto Command.
Aye, it's a nice machine to drive, isn't it?
I like her for like the spud works I do.
She would now. Aye, we do know a little bit about, I suppose, the time with the 315 now. Really get onto that gearbox. So we actually have not just the equivalent, but almost the equivalent in the dark red corner there, just at the minute. Or maybe I should bring it up and let you get a look at it. The Puma 175, which is, I think, equivalent to your 225.
Yeah.
It's the CVX version now. It'll be really interesting to see what you thought of the difference there. But maybe you've tried Case before.
We had a Puma 160, so they've just sold it there recently, so they're good enough tractors too.
Well, they're on a similar sort of a footing, are they not, as the New Holland?
They would be.
Well, what width's your dribble bar?
That's 12 metre.
As you're on the 12 metre there, so you'll have the double macerators.
Yeah.
When you're pumping with a bit of style then. Well, do you do much AD work or not? Or, you know, there's not so many digesters around this part of the world, is there?
Well, there's a few. That's the only one we do now.
You can always tell there's a very distinct smell of it, isn't there?
There is.
It would be nice stuff to work through the pipe system.
It's not too bad. So it's not too fair. Like, you get plenty of pressure with it.
What pump system do you run, Doda?
Well, that's Doda L27 that's on the trailer, and then we have a 35 and another 27 for drake pumping as well.
Yeah, and do you run one slurry outfit, one piping system just with two different pumps, or do you run two systems, David?
Generally we have one pipe out with the trailer and one pipe drake pumping then. So we'll...
I see, really the two systems then.
Yeah.
Will you need the two out this week to get on top of it all, or will you manage?
No, I think we'll the two out there so have now, so...
Suppose this calendar farming isn't great now for you, but maybe with all the other work you do between potatoes and Christmas trees and whatever else you're doing, maybe the slurry band's a good job for you. It lets you get it finished and done.
Well, we don't actually mind it for that there now. So we'll put a wee bit of pressure on the next 2 or 3 days, but it gets us right up with it.
It's yourself and your brother runs the business?
It's me and my brother run it, dairy farm and contracting business.
Oh, and you have a dairy farm as well, that is right. So you've plenty in your plate?
Plenty to keep us going anyway, so we have.
How do you milk the cows?
With 3 robots, 2 Lily robots.
I thought it was robots. I suppose the robot suits your contracting system and maybe a wee bit better.
It's a wee bit more flexible, gives you a bit of time. You don't always have to be there at a specific time, so.
Well look, David, I'll probably go on and let you go. It was great to meet you. As I say, look, we're trying to do our best, and normally we'd like to be in beside you, keeping you going and winding you up, but we're trying to stick with all our COVID regulations, so I'll carry on here, and if it suits you, if we could, we'd maybe love to get out and see the Christmas trees. I think that there is just mind-blowing, maybe steal one, but look, thanks in the meantime. I'll see you again soon. Alright David, thank you.
No bother, thank you.